my most amazing podcast family. Man, I'm so excited to be back with y'all. I'm excited today because I'm going to share on something that I think every single one of us walk through at some point in our lives, whether it's a divorce of our parents, getting divorced, and we're having to walk through the feelings of heartbreak over that, or whether it's even a best friend and y'all ended up going your separate ways, the heartbreak of that. I talk a lot about heart issues, how's your heart, because the Bible says that out of the heart, the mouth speaks. Whatever's in your heart comes out of your mouth. Whatever's in your head comes out of your mouth. And the Bible says that life and death are in the power of your words. And so today, I'm just going to break down, how do you let go of disappointment? How do you let go of heartbreak? How do you get up and live again when that gnawing feeling of rejection or the thoughts of the way you thought something was going to be and it ended and it went to hell, and now you're having to start all over again by yourself? I know the feeling. So we're going to talk about it today. So I am excited that you're here. I am going to need you to go get your notebook, go get your pen, paper, get you some coffee, get you some popcorn, and dedicate the next 30 minutes with me. I would also love for you right now, wherever you're listening to this podcast, whether it's on Spotify or iHeartRadio or YouTube, whether it's on wherever you're listening to podcasts, you can listen to it, just hear it, or you can watch me now, because now, as you can tell, we have done something different, and now we're doing live podcasts. It's like my own show. It's so cool. But I would love for you right now to share this with somebody. Go share this. Push that share button. Share it with your friends. Share it on your social media pages. Share this because somebody, even if you're not walking through something, maybe your life is fabulous, right? And you're not walking through anything right now. Somebody on your news feed is, and somebody really needs to know that they're not alone and that this too shall pass, just like a kidney stone. You're going to get through this, okay? And while you're at it, also subscribe. Go right below and push that subscribe button. And every single time I upload a podcast, you will get notifications. I always upload on Mondays the sermon from Sunday, right, onto my podcast. And then on Wednesday, me and my team drop a new episode of me breaking down something that's going to help you become a better you. All right. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm about to throw this over to a break. And then when I come back, you be situated and comfortable with your notepad, and make sure you're pushing the share button. Make sure you've already subscribed, and we'll chop it up. We'll get into it. If you don't know who I am, by the way, maybe this is your first time. Maybe you just stumbled upon my podcast. I am Real Talk Kim all over all social media pages. I am Real Talk Kim push that little @ button and Real Talk Kim. And you can find out more about me by going to my website, realtalkkim.com. I also have clothing store. I've got the cutest clothes. Go shop, of course, at rtkstyle.com. Also, I have an app for your phone. You can go download my app in your Google Play Store, your Apple Store, and carry me in your pocket. All right? I love you, and I will be right back after this break. Welcome back, my most amazing family, podcast family. Y'all are the best ever. I am Real Talk Kim, and we're going to chop it up today. You know, I deal a lot with people's hearts. I always ask people, even my staff, I'm like, how's your heart? Let's do a check-in. How's your heart? And I want to ask you that today because I feel like a lot of times we find ourselves so busy in life that we forget to do a checkup on ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And before long, over time, we end up man, just suppressing and suppressing and suppressing pain, suppressing rejection, suppressing heartbreak, suppressing, and all of a sudden, before we know it, we're walking around insecure, we're walking around sad, we're walking around, we've lost ourselves. Y'all have heard me tell this story probably before if you've been following me for any amount of time. Whenever I walked through my divorce from my son's father, we were married for 18 years. And man, I loved his guts. Like, I could not even imagine my life without him being in it. You know, it was just like, you know how you just feel like this is just the way it's going to be forever, right? I never in a million years thought that we wouldn't be together. And after 18 years of marriage, me and him had fallen away from God, and both of our parents were pastors. We were raised in the church, but we'd fallen away from God, and we'd had our 2 sons, and we quit going to church. We were living like rock stars. Just sin will take you further than you want to go, cost you more than you want to pay, and keep you longer than you want to stay, and it ruined us. Literally, addiction came in and just took over our family. And we lost our 18-year marriage, and I was devastated. And I had to move back home with my parents in Atlanta. I was so humiliated. I was raised in a religion that said, if you get divorced, you're going to hell on a slip and slide. I felt like I wasn't worth fighting for, that addiction was more important than me and my kids. And the enemy was just filling my head with so many lies. And I went back 8 times, just believing that he was going to go back, our marriage was going to go back to the way it was when we first got married. And I kept holding on to that hope, and it just wasn't going to happen. And when I finally realized that I have to do this, we have to be done, because for my kids' sake, right? For my kids' sake, because I think a lot of times what we do is we will stay in relationships because of the comfortability factor, and we will settle for less because at least it's something, and then we do it for the kids, and a lot of times it's worse for the kids to be in that, right? I remember that I lost me. And I was trying to do one of those Facebook quizzes where it was like 20 things about me, and it was where we were telling our Facebook friends, you know, I like banana sandwiches with mayonnaise, I like brownies with marshmallows in it, or my favorite color is pink, my hobbies are working out, or whatever. We were just telling people stuff that didn't just about ourselves. And I remember I wanted to do that quiz so bad, and I couldn't even tell you what my favorite color was. I remember that was like an awakening for me, sitting there trying to do this quiz, and I couldn't tell you what my favorite color was. I couldn't tell you what my favorite food was, because I'd lost me in the process of trying to heal somebody else. Like, I wanted more for him than he wanted for himself. I was so busy trying to fix someone that didn't even realize I was being broken apart in the process. And that was when I remember I laid in my bed that night, man, and I was just like, God, take this pain away from me. I mean, dramatic as I could, I was just broken. I remember that night, y'all, the joints of my fingers were aching. I was so heartbroken. And I remember thinking, man, I'm hurting all over. Like, this sucks. This is bad. And the reality of how far I was, how low I was, hit me. And I was like, God, take this pain away. And I remember it was like, I ain't taking this pain away from you. You got to get up and walk away from it. That's what I felt. All of a sudden, I realized, oh, I actually have a part to play in getting over this heartbreak. And so I put together things that I feel, because I've walked through heartbreak again since then, of course. Y'all know I've been putting my little foot out there in the dating pool. lately. And I'm finding that it's so different. I preached a series this past month at Limitless, the church I pastor, and it was called Love is Blind. And I was telling everybody in that church, because thankfully we got a ton of singles, but we also have a lot of really great couples as well. And I was like, y'all, stay married. It's hard out in these streets because it's so easy now just to throw away a relationship and not fight for it, because it's just become so easy, right? To just get out and move on. And I'm telling you, it is an awakening. I was sitting across from somebody not too long ago on a date, and I'm looking at them thinking, this sucks. Like, having to start this thing over again, like get to know, you got to find out about my daddy, left my mama at 4, and now I'm still stuck in the pain of it. My dog, Sally, got run over by a truck, and it scarred me you got to go back through and get to know these people. And when you're married, you already know. You just turn over and go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? And so I put together some things that really helped me, because I'm 50. I'm 50 years old, and I feel like I lost everything at 36. I thought my life was over, right? Didn't preach my first sermon until I was 41. Didn't go full-time ministry until 41. I wrote my first book, y'all, at 42. Started this podcast at 46, and now I'm 50, and I realize my life is just beginning, and I'm loving it. But how do I keep my heart safe? How do I pay attention? Because Proverbs 3 tells all of us to guard your heart, because out of it flows the issues of life. That means you don't walk around being hard and unlovable, and you don't put these walls up to keep people out. No, God's idea is good relationships. And so how do I do it now so that I don't go back to being that Kim that was sad all the time because of the heartbreak I couldn't get over? You know, how do I not go back there in this crazy world? How do I trust people and rebuild a life after divorce? And how do I become the best me, right? Because y'all, since I've been out in these streets dating, I have literally walked through different phases where I'm like, oh my God. Like, I remember one night laying in my bed thinking, this ain't for me. This dating thing's making me become crazy. Like, because all of a sudden it's awakening different emotions on the inside of you, right? And so, man, whenever I am at this place, how do I protect my heart? So I wrote this down, and I want y'all to write down some of the things I do. Whenever you are walking through a heartbreak and you are devastated, our minds want to tell us lies, right? I pray every day, God, help me to be discerning. Help me to be aware. Don't let me take rejection personally. Let me realize that sometimes rejection's God's protection, right? Most of the time, actually all the time, because God is not a God of chaos and confusion. But here's what you got to do to get over a heartbreak that you are devastated in. You have to avoid contact. You need to avoid contact. No contact, right? For at least 60 or 90 days. I know that's hard. I know it is, because you're nosy. You want to know what they're doing. You miss them. You want them to miss you as bad. Listen, if they wanted to be in your life, they would be. Understand that. Their actions are showing you exactly the honest to God truth of where you fit in their life, right? Avoid contact. Avoid contact. It's important to avoid seeing your ex at least for 4 to 6 weeks. This is a no contact rule. And it will give you time to put things into perspective. All right? It'll give you time to focus on you, to focus on your own needs. It also provides, all right, the distance necessary to sever the bond between you in a real way. It does. It will be painful and difficult, but trying to be friends immediately or keeping in touch in any way will just make moving on impossible. You know how you're doing so good, like man, I'm getting my groove back, Stella getting her whole groove back. And then all of a sudden you see them and it opens back up the wound and you're like, oh my God. Then you got to go all the way back through. Processing, you got to go all the way through. You missing them, you sad, you walk around playing John Legend, sad songs, y'all songs, right? You got to go all the way back through. No contact for at least 30 days. You can do anything for 30 days, right? Another way is don't romanticize the past. You made it before them, you're going to make it after them, right? Just because they walked out of your life don't mean that you're on the clearance rack now, right? Don't romanticize the past. It can be easy to replay all the good memories, put it on repeat, especially if you didn't want the relationship to end, right? But for a healthier perspective, you really need to make the effort to see the whole picture, right? The mere fact that they're not fighting for you is all the explanation that you need. Can you imagine if you spent your whole life feeling like you were an afterthought? Like God created you to be adored. And if somebody's going to throw you away because of a mistake, right? Keep bringing up something in your life over and over. You get one chance to live. One chance at this life. One chance. Can you imagine letting go of the wrong so God brings you the right? And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I never knew that love could feel this good. I never knew that I could actually be someone's escape and not their duty. I'm telling you, nothing that you've let go of is going to be greater than what God's going to bring into your life. I promise. Even if it was your fault, even if you're beating yourself up because you feel like you're the reason why that relationship ended. So what? So what if you're the fault? So what if it is your fault? So what if you did exactly what they said you did? The greatest thing about a mistake is it becomes a message, right? You have free life college now. You know what not to do in the next relationship. You know that trigger that was triggered and made you act all crazy, made you turn into Cruella de Vil, whatever. But at least you know so you can fix it, so that you can go on to have an incredible destiny, future with somebody else, right? Here's number 3. Fall in love with your life, okay? Fall in love with your doggone life. Fall in love with your life. And now is the perfect time to get back to you. Find you. What have you always wanted to do? What hobbies can you get back into? Take time to show up for yourself and fall in love with your life. That's how you become the person you've always wanted to be. And when you become irresistible to others, guess what? When you become irresistible to yourself, when you become your own best friend, then all of a sudden everywhere you go, people are like, man, she's contagious. He's contagious. I just want to hang out with them all the time. You know how fun that would be? Yo, you know what I realized? I have realized that I was talking to my brother Sunday night, and I said, this is the first time in my life that I've not been in a relationship. My whole life, I was like groomed to be a wife. That religion I was in, that's what women did. You got married, you took care of a man, you cooked, you helped him with whatever he was doing. And so it was like I went from relationship to relationship to relationship, and relationship was a sign that you were good, that you were top shelf, whatever. This is the first time in my life that I ain't got to take care of nobody. My sons are grown. Morgan and Lincoln are 27 and 29. I live downtown. I'm living the dream. I could date a different person every day if I wanted to. I can buy whatever I want to buy and go wherever vacation I want to go on. What? This is the first time in my life that I haven't been in a relationship. And I had to learn to be okay with that. And when I fell in love with me and fell in love with my life, man, now I'm finding hobbies. I'm working out every day. I never wanted to work out, ever. Working out, like if you ever saw me running, you better run too, because that means somebody's chasing us, okay? I just never cared about working out. It wasn't top shelf for me. Last time I worked out was in high school. I was on track. But I all of a sudden started finding trails downtown Atlanta, and I'm out there running every day, and I'm feeling excited, and I'm feeling clear-headed. I'm feeling accomplished. I can wear whatever I want to wear without a muffin top hanging out. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to wear no girdle to hide stuff. I'm happy because I chose to love my life. And when you love your life, blessings chase you down. Happiness is a magnet. It is just a magnet of favor. It just is. Because remember, life and death and the power of your words. Some of your life looks the way it looks because of your mouth. You hate your life. Everything's negative. Everything's critical out of your mouth. You are just feeling like your life is over. You hate being a single mama. You hate being a single daddy. You feeling sorry for yourself all the time. You're mad because you don't feel like there's anybody helping you. Can I tell you that wherever you are in your life is exactly where you're supposed to be, or you wouldn't be there. You were built for exactly where you are. You were built. God knew before you were ever even a thought in your mama's womb that right now in April, March, whenever you're watching this, that you were going to be in this situation that you hate, loathe, and he said, I've given you all you need to get through it. Everything you need, I got you. I've given you the grace. I've given you the answers. You may not like this season, but you ain't staying here. This is a season, not a sentence, right? I always tell my kids this when they were feeling sorry for themselves. I'm like, you know what? You gonna get through this. You gonna get through this. I promise you. You're gonna look back in 30 days and you're gonna be like, it ain't even gonna be a memory. You're going to get through this. And the minute you stop quitting, I remember when Lincoln had appendicitis and they ruptured. And so he went in and he thought they were just going to put a little, because, now modern day surgery, they just put a pin in and do whatever they got to do. They don't want to cut you open. And so he went in thinking he was just going to get they were just going to go in and he going to have maybe a few dots on his belly. And when he woke up, he had a big old long scar because they realized once they went in there that it had ruptured and they had to hurry up. And so they cut him. Well, when that boy woke up and saw that cut on his belly, he decided he wasn't going to try to get well. He laid in that bed, cried for 7 days. And the doctors finally were like, your son is going to have to get it together. Like, there's no reason why he still should be in this hospital. He won't go to the bathroom. He won't get up and walk. It was like he just quit because he had a scar on his belly. Like, laying in that bed, quitting was going to fix anything. And I remember looking at him one day and I was like, Lincoln, nobody's going to get you up out of this bed. And quitting sure is not going to help anything. And he had to get to a place where he realized that this scar ain't going nowhere and I might as well deal with it. And that's the same thing with you. The minute you realize that you got to get up and do something different is the minute things going to change, right? When you change your mind, your life is going to change. Here's another, number 4. You got to forgive them. Forgive them. Forgive them. Forgive you. Forgive them. Don't keep rehashing the bad moments. Don't lose your dignity begging somebody to be in your life. Stop it. Stop lowering your value. Stop letting somebody treat you like a paper plate when God created you to be fine china. Stop lowering yourself, begging somebody that is clearly not good enough for you. They don't know what they're missing. They're lost, right? So listen, forgiveness is tough, but you don't have to believe that what someone did is okay in order to forgive them. All right? Forgiveness is not for them. Forgiveness is for you. The point of forgiveness is that it frees you from emotional burden of anger. It frees you. Release your bitterness. Release the anger. Release the hurt by forgiving them and forgiving yourself. And you may got to do it every day. Every time they come into your head, maybe you got to forgive them again. I used to lay in my bed at night and pray God would kill my ex with a train. I was like, kill him. I remember one night, it was like the Holy Spirit was just dropped in my spirit. You do know that you're not going to be blessed with this attitude. And I remember laying there on that bed being like, God, I want to forgive him, but I don't know how. And over time, I realized that forgiveness is a choice. It's not an emotion. All right? You got to forgive. Here's number 5. Focus on what you want. Don't keep rehashing the bad moments. Don't focus on what isn't working, right? Don't say things like, some of y'all need to break a contract, a word curse. You've been saying, I don't want to be cheated on ever again. I'm going to be single forever. I'm never going to trust anybody ever again. Every time you say stuff like that, you're making a contract. And some of y'all need to go back and break the doggone contract. You hear me? You need to go back. That's why you ain't married. You're like, I don't know why I ain't married. Because you said, I ain't never going to get married again. I ain't never going to trust anybody again. And now you laying up in your house all by yourself. You never get out. You never go nowhere. You think that man's going to break in your house to find you? Huh? No. They ain't going to rob your house to find you. You have to get to a place where you're like, I'm going to stop saying these negative things about myself. I'm going to get outside and run. I'm going to take care of myself. And I'm going to stop saying these stupid things like, I don't want to be single forever, but I think I'm going to. There ain't no good men left. There ain't no good women left. And that right there is like a repellent, right? Words have power. And when we focus on what we don't want, we keep getting what we don't want. Instead, focus all your attention on what you do want. Whether that's a healthy new relationship or to be single and confident, right? Listen, I remember I definitely don't know how to flirt. I'm not good at flirting. I'm sure we're all somewhat afraid of rejection. So you just kind of don't even realize that your vibe is putting off this, right? And so I was sitting at a table went to one of my friend's birthday parties, and he was turning 50, and he had like 9 guys at the table and me. And they all were talking about, we were talking about dating and flirting and all this kind of stuff. And I said, I don't know how. I don't know how to flirt. I don't know. And they were like, you have to make eye contact. And I'm thinking, I will die. How do you make eye contact? How do you, if you see somebody that's nice looking and you see them look at you, don't turn away. Look at them in the eyes. Make eye contact with them. Smile at them. Nod your head. And it's the funniest thing because now I'm realizing what I want. I'm focused on what I want, and I'm allowing my body language to change, right? None of this is possible if I didn't heal from a heartbreak. Because what ends up happening is you end up bleeding on people that didn't cut you because you never healed from that heartbreak, right? So you got to focus on what you want, focus on what you don't want. Don't focus on what you don't want, focus on what you want, right? Here's number 6. Speak kindly to yourself. Speak kindly to yourself. Your inner critic will use the breakup as a chance to try to bring you down. Don't let that little voice distract you. Instead of fighting yourself, start to fight for yourself. Be kind to yourself. You hear me? Here's number 7. Don't badmouth your ex. Stop talking about them, in fact. Nobody wants to hear it. Nobody wants to hear it. I've got my assistant, and that's actually probably the only person that I talk to about when I need to vent about something. I'll get it out because I'm a talker. I'll get it out. And maybe it'll take me a few times to get it out because I'm the type of person that I will maybe give myself 24 hours. I'll eat some Haagen-Dazs, eat some pizza, cry, watch a sad movie, listen to some sad music, cry. But then after 24 hours, I'm coming out of that room like a soldier. Okay? Now, sometimes my heart might be a little bit more involved, and it might take me, I might think I got it together, and then all of a sudden have a bad day. That's okay. But the point is, you can't allow yourself to live there. And when you badmouth your ex, I know it feels therapeutic, right? But you need to have one friend that will tell you, okay, it's time to get up. It's time to quit talking about it. You got to have somebody that is a sounding board, but that person also has to tell you it's time for you to stop talking about it, right? Focus on sharing things that you love, right? Talk about things in your life that are working well. Talk about your dreams, your desires. You know what? Whenever I have a relationship that has ended in my life, I'll always think about what the good was they brought in with them. What was the good? What was the good that they brought in to my life? And that's what I focus on, and then I let it go. So it wasn't a complete waste because they made me a better person in this area, this area, this area, right? They exposed some triggers that I needed to deal with. Here's number 8. Stop stalking them on social media. Avoid social media stalking. You hear me? So I know you want to know what they're doing, but it ain't none of your business. You don't even got to unfollow them. You don't have to be petty. You don't have to unfriend them, but you can mute them. Mute them where they don't come in your newsfeed anymore, right? It might be wise to just remove your ex, right, somehow on social media feeds. Facebook, take a break. They'll let you take a break. It has a feature, literally. You can go to their page, push their little thumbnail, something will drop, and it will say, take a break. Even social media knows how to help you be petty and private, okay? Avoid. You don't got to unfriend them, especially if you're still confused about the breakup. Or now you're taking all these posts and subliminally sending posts. He's probably not following you either, so he's not even seeing them, all right? So stop stalking them at all costs. It just breeds a lot of pain, all right? A lot of pain. Here's number 9. Stop overanalyzing it. Stop overanalyzing it. You did the best you could with what you knew at the time. This was so huge for me when I started realizing that, I have to quit overanalyzing it, because at the time I did the best that I could at that time. Be kind to yourself and stop overanalyzing and replaying every detail, every thought, every conversation that you had. It is what it is, and it happened the way it was supposed to happen. And just embrace that reality, okay? Here's number 10. Trust the process. Trust the process. Y'all, this is for friendships. This is for any kind of heartbreak, because heartbreak comes in so many different forms, right? Trust the process. There is a process to your life, a beautiful, graceful unfolding of possibilities and potential. Relationships are part of our purpose, to love, to be loved. Some loves are not to be a lifetime. Be thankful for the experience. Every experience helps you grow into the person that you're meant to be. All right? Here's number 11. Believe in love. Believe in love. Don't close your heart. Some of y'all need to tell your heart today, it's time to beat again. Stop walking around saying, I don't need no man. You know you want a big old burly man coming up to you, wrapping his arms around you. You know you do. Because if you didn't, you would have to tell us that. All right? Believe in love. Don't retreat from the world. Don't let the pain take over. Believe in yourself. Believe in love. And it will be there waiting for you when you are ready. Y'all, I got another one. I got 2 more. I got 2 more that I want to give you, but I'm going to throw it to a break, okay? And then I'm going to do these last 2. And I feel like somebody today has decided, boom, shakalaka, like a boom. I'm about to get up and become my best self and get your groove back. All right? I'll be right back after this break. Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. I have two more for you. The last one was believe in love, baby. Number 12 is prioritize self-care. Prioritize, because y'all know good and well that when you were in that relationship, y'all done been eating popcorn. You've been eating ho-hos. Now you're laying on the couch scratching your behind, sad. You can't fit none of your clothes because you were happy in love. And now you need to get your groove back. You need to literally stop eating snacks and become a snack, okay? You got to prioritize self-care. Make sure that you take care of you. Focus on your health and what makes your body feel good. Spend time outside. Go find you some trails. Prioritizing self-care means learning how to be your own best friend and cherishing your beautiful self because you love yourself and you will attract someone who loves themselves too. You hear me? Prioritize, baby. Prioritize yourself. And here's the last one. Follow your heart. Follow your heart. We live in this beautiful world. Care for it. Protect it. Play with it. Right? Go outside. Do what you want to do while you're single, while you're healing. Because God's, if your desire is to get in a relationship and be happy forever, God's going to bring it. Because God never puts a desire in you without having plans to bring it to pass. Could it be that maybe the reason why you're single is because you ain't ready for who God wants to bring in your life? Maybe you still have some areas that you need to heal, right? I dare you to fall in love with yourself, to get out, do something different, right? Go outside. Go to a restaurant. I'm challenging you to go to a restaurant by yourself. I don't know why that's so hard for people. I will go sit at a table in a restaurant all by myself and love my meal. Do that. Do some things that are hard for you so that when God does bring somebody in your life, you will be their escape and not their duty. Because God doesn't bring somebody in your life to complete you. You're already complete. You're whole. It's like two whole people come together and then y'all can build a whole empire together because y'all both healthy. All right? Man, I hope this sunk in. Some of y'all need to listen to this 3 and 4 and 5 times because some of y'all just need to stop feeling sorry for yourself and be excited for what God's about to bring in your life. All right? Okay. Listen, I love you. I'm Real Talk Kim. I'm so excited that you joined me. Make sure that you're going to my website often. Find out where I'm going to be. I travel every week somewhere. I go and minister at different events. It's under my itinerary on my website, realtalkkim.com website. I also have a clothing store at rtkstyle.com. I also pastor the greatest church in Atlanta called Limitless Church every Sunday, 10 and 11:30. I'm in that place preaching up a storm, 1653 Highway 85 South, Fayetteville, Georgia, 30215. 10 and 11:30. You can also watch us online at limitlesschurch.live. Y'all, get involved. We got a great singles ministry at our church called Linked Up. We also have a women's ministry there that's awesome. We have a men's ministry that's awesome. We have a youth ministry that's awesome. Everything about our church to me is the best. So you are invited to join us. Also, thank you for subscribing to this channel. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you that y'all ride with me hard, and I'm so grateful. Thank you for sharing my content. Thank you for loving me because I love you. I'll see you next week right back here on Wednesday with a new episode that I believe is going to bless your life. All right. Be looking out too, because a lot of you have been asking me to break down how I lost my 55 pounds, how I stay the way I am at walking through menopause, 50-year-old, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to be doing that on one of these upcoming podcasts as well, how to live better. All right. I love y'all. I'll see you next Wednesday. Mwah! Real Talk Kim, over.